As you guys all know, that there is a lot of racism against Indians online, mostly being spread by the Islamist and the far-right Americans. Reason being that there is too much legal immigration of Indians into the United States. Because of that, they are really troubled by it. They are worried about racial demographic change and religious demographic change. Because according to them, United States only belong to one group, and that's Europe. Not Black Americans, not Hispanics, nobody, just Europeans. And to a degree, they are also worried about one thing, the competition they face from Indians for the high paying jobs. One of the top accusations against Indian community is that they are taking away all the jobs from Americans. And here is the report created by an American news channel which covers that all of it beautifully. And many of them don't even know why they don't like Indian immigration. They are not answering it bluntly because the kind of views these people hold are still considered heavily unacceptable in American society, especially among the elite educated people. So let's watch it together.
Frisco tonight, some are calling the Indian population growth there problematic. There are accusations that some visa holders maybe gained their work status fraudulently and took American jobs. Our Marvin Hurst tonight looking for answers.
For all the things that Frisco is known for.
I also see people who were evicted because their job was replaced by H-1B workers.
A fight over demographics has led to some uncomfortable conversations.
People from India are walking in, not even going through the proper channels to apply, while Texans are going homeless.
That seem like fighting words. One of the most vocal is self-proclaimed journalist Mark Palaciano.
I have no political affiliation. I don't identify with the left or right. I identify with all Americans, even the Americans that disagree with me, even the Americans that call me racist for what I'm doing.
Palaciano feels like he's led the charge to get people to notice numbers he says deserve a closer look in Frisco. He describes it as an Indian takeover, end quote.
I've grown up around a lot of different races, but when a population, the Indian population in America is 1.6%, but in Frisco it's exploded to 33%. That's not diversity.
Here's a breakdown of the demographics in Frisco, which remain overwhelmingly white. Then there's Asian, which lumps in Indian, Hispanics, blacks, and so on.
So what's wrong with that number?
It's a good question. I don't know how to answer it, right? Because what is the right number? Now,
Exactly. What is diversity looks like to him? What is the ratio he has in mind? There was a time that the area was 90% white. There was no diversity. The reason is simple. He is just too afraid to say it. He doesn't want people who are not Christian or who are not white. But he won't just say it bluntly.
now I don't know. Now I think if America's population is 1.6% Indian and Frisco's is 33%, that just seems like a very big difference to me.
He keeps coming to city leaders with claims of fraudulent HB-1 visas, even though it's a federal matter. The visas permit American companies to employ non-citizens for work.
I think there's absolutely something that should be looked into there if there's abuse and fraud, for sure.
Frisco City Councilman Bert Thacker.
The city has had an exponential amount of growth in the last 20 years in population. And yes, 18 to 20% of that happens to come from India. They came here legally. We've had this happen before in our history. We've had it happen with the Irish, we've had it happen with the Germans, we've had it happen, look, with African Americans, we've had it happen with Hispanic people.
So we reached out to ICE to try to find out if they have an H-1B problem in Frisco. They said they would get us some information, but so far they have not responded, even after we asked day after day after day.
These are online statistics from ICE regarding HB-1 visas since 2021. The numbers show how many have applied, how many are eligible, and how many were granted the visas. If you look closely, the applicants and those accepted have dropped significantly.
Go back to India. Why?
In August 2022, Dr. Badisha Rudra and 3 Indian American friends lived out a hurtful experience in a Plano parking lot.
I remember this case. This woman herself is a Mexican. She came from Mexico, but she has problem with Indians.
Because they were Indian.
I can say that I feel better that there were some consequences that she had to pay for, but I will, for the rest of my life, I will live through this incident from time and time.
Esmeralda Upton faced criminal charges and settled a lawsuit with the women last year.
Words like the Indian takeover, it hurts me because this country, America, is a potpourri of different cultures, different backgrounds, different ethnicities.
That's the point they are not willing to accept, that America has way past the point where it can be considered a white country. And it is not possible to go back to 1950.
The turf in this country can be tough.
Once they get up to 50%, you can't even compete with them when at the voting polls.
I thought he said that he considers all Americans as Americans, regardless of race and religion. But why he's competing with them? Why not participate with them? He just doesn't like the competition.
Is there something wrong with that?
If
it's not fraudulent.
Yeah, I believe in legal immigration. Look, my last name is Palaciano. That's an Italian name.
So he's okay with Italian takeover.
Dad is an immigrant. My dad moved to this country and got a better life.
And the soil gets personal, even in Frisco.
It's personal to me, Marvin, because I'm going to die one day. I want to leave this place a little better than I found it. I want people to start looking at the goodness in each other and not looking at the awful things. There's not amazing things. My heart goes out to people who've lost their jobs, and my heart goes out to people who don't have what they have.
Let me tell you guys, America is not like this. Most Americans are very welcoming people. Educated, civilized, well-mannered American. You will never see them complain about hardworking immigrants. All countries have their dead weights, and it is the American dead weight that is complaining about Indians the most, who doesn't produce anything of value. But you always see the hardworking, educated Americans appreciate immigrants, what they contribute to the nation. And this so-called racist MAGA do not represent America. If you liked the video, like, subscribe and share.